Let's talk shop this chop chop and give a little real talk. Period. And today I want to talk about the charge of bootlicking in relation to compliance with the police. Now, I had to address this. I had to absolutely address this because I had a number of people in my comment section as well as in my inbox saying the same thing, that this is indeed bootlicking to comply with the police, or for me to espouse that we should comply with the police. Now, first and foremost, right? First and foremost, let me say this. Compliance is the premise, people, not the rule. I'll put it in these terms. You tell your daughter, don't lie, right? That's the premise. You teach her, don't lie, right? So that's the premise. That's the basic assertion. But there's always caveats. There's always exceptions, right? So if she had a friend that was being sexually abused by her father, and she promises not to tell in order for her friend to tell her, right? So she says, I promise not to tell. You can tell me. You can tell me. You can tell me. And then when the friend tells her, she then tells me, or she then tells an authority figure. That's a good reason to lie, right? That's an acceptable reason to lie. Thus the caveat to the do not lie premise, right? You see what I'm saying? So, same thing with compliance. Compliance is the premise. Now, based on certain illegal acts by authority figures, sure, it may be advantageous to defy authority in a manner that's not going to threaten your life, at least. For example, Tin Horn Flats, right? Tin Horn Flats is a business, and Lucas, the person in charge of Tin Horn Flats at this moment, basically the face of the business, he's going through it with this business. He's going through it with the city. He's going through it with these authority figures imposing their will on this business, right? And it's absolutely despicable what's going on. It's absolutely egregious what's going on. And they have shut him down, and they have imposed a bevy of fines, all due to this COVID situation. Lord have mercy. So what he's been doing is he's been defying the orders, right? And he's already been arrested 3 times for it. I'll repeat, he's already been arrested 3 times for it. One more time for those in the bleachers in the nosebleed section. He's already been arrested 3 times for it. Key word, arrested. He willingly broke the law. He knew he was willingly breaking the law. And he said that he's willingly going to break the law, right? But when he broke the law, he let himself be arrested. No, he didn't run. No, he didn't fight back. No, he didn't resist arrest. No, he didn't do anything of that nature. He didn't go after the officer's gun or nothing like that. He showcased his act of defiance in a non-threatening way. And when it came time to him being arrested, he let himself be arrested. That's it. But some would contend that that is bootlicking because he submitted to authority figures. Now, before we go on, I think it would be prudent for us to define the word bootlicker, right? So, according to dictionary.com, a bootlicker is someone who seeks favor or goodwill in a servile and degrading way. Someone who seeks goodwill in a servile or degrading way. Now, let's define comply. To act in accordance to the wishes, to the requests, to the demands, to the requirements, and to the conditions, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So, are you trying to tell me then to comply with the commands that the officer gives you is somehow seeking favor or goodwill in a servile, degraded way? This is ludicrous. That's a ludicrous assertion to make. Complying with a lawful command is not bootlicking, especially complying with a lawful command after committing a crime. Lord have mercy. Why? God dang it. Why are we encouraging people to be defiant? As if we don't already have a problem with defiance in these people's natures as is, especially when it comes to authority figures like the police. We watch time and time and time again people getting pulled over, the cops having grounds to arrest the suspect. The suspect then fights the cops or tries to harm the cops, showing blatant disregard for their life and for everyone else's safety. And as a result, the cops put the criminal down, for which we then blame the cops. We blame the cops for the misdeeds of the suspect, escalating the situation to the point of gunshots. Oh, time and time and time again this happens. And we steady have these criminal apologists more concerned with the cop, with the way the cop reacted than the perp who is escalating the situation, who is willingly putting his own life in danger to escalate the situation, willingly putting his life as well as those of the cop and the general public in danger to escalate matters for his own benefit. And then as a result, the cops respond in kind. We ask, why is it that the cop did this? Why did the cop do that? Instead of asking, why did the perp do this? Why did the perp do that? Why couldn't he just comply and live the fight another day? Why are we so quick to defend the lawless actions of the criminal? Why are we so quick to overlook the actions of the very person who caused all of the drama in the first place? Golly! Cause and effect, plain and simple. There's positive and negative consequences to your actions. Oh boy. Then people heap on a boatload of gasoline into an already inflammatory situation by preaching that compliance is now tantamount to bootlicking. That quelling one's ego is bootlicking. That picking one's battles and on what terms to fight these battles is bootlicking, which further just encourages people to not comply and willingly become another statistic, as to not incur the stigma of being labeled as a bootlicker. Oh, God, man, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's not hard to really think this through, people. Being strategic and knowing when and knowing where and knowing how to fight your battles and coming up with a winning plan to attack is something that seems to be foreign to some people. It seems to be a foreign concept. Like, okay, for example, what happened in the movie Troy? Now, this was after the Grecians had already established a beachhead on Trojan soil, okay? And they're about to have their first big battle against the Trojans. So the Grecians, with the King Agamemnon, I can't say that guy's name, with the king of the Grecians, goes and attacks the Trojan army. And the Trojan army is giving them the business, right? Beating them back. Archers are tearing them down. The soldiers are superior. And the king is so stubborn, he just wants to keep pushing forward. The king of the Greeks, I should say, is so stubborn, he just wants to keep pushing forward. And Odysseus, which is one of the minor kings under King Agamemnon, he says, hey, you need to tell your soldiers to pull back. And the king, full of pride, says, my army has never lost a battle. Pride. Goodness gracious. And Odysseus says to the king, and I love this, he says, you won't have an army if you don't pull back. Okay? So reluctantly, the king pulls his army back, right? They retreat, they lick their wounds, all this and that. They get attacked again. I'm talking about the movie adaptation. And then the Grecians come up with the idea of the Trojan horse, right? Built this entire Trojan horse, this big old statue, hide men inside. The Trojans come, see this big Trojan horse, grab the Trojan horse, bring it inside their city, and as a result, you know the story, the Grecians then pour out this Trojan horse, open up the gates, and then Troy is slaughtered, okay? That's what happens when you regroup. This is what happens when you have to retreat. This is what happens when sometimes you have to look at the situation and say, this current course of action will result in my demise. Let me rethink this in a different way, attack this in a different manner, and go about it in a different fashion. And hey, let's see if we can come up with something better, because this way will not work. Again, I'll say it again. Being strategic and knowing when, where, and how to fight your battles and coming up with a winning plan of attack is what it's all about. I mean, that's it. But it seems to be foreign. It seems to be foreign to some people. If I'm pulled over, right? If I'm pulled over and I'm approached in a hostile manner by the cops, I will comply, pure and simple. If anything unlawful transpires, I will comply, pure and simple. If they order me out the car, I will comply, pure and simple. If they order me to the ground after firing off their entire magazine of their gun above my head, guess what? I'm going to comply, pure and simple. I will let myself get arrested. I will be put in the back of the daggone paddy wagon. I will go to jail. I will get out. I will then immediately hire Nicholas Sandman's lawyer, and I will go to town suing the entire world when it comes to these cops. I will have these cops put behind bars. I will win this case. I will get all of the money, all of it. All of the money will be into my pockets, and I will be renaming the highway in which I was pulled over Who's Your Daddy Now highway. You better believe that's exactly what I would do. But if I listen to some of you people, I wouldn't even make it outside of the daggone car with some of your notions of non-compliance in efforts to not come across as a bootlicking fake patriot. Goodness gracious. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And look, I know some of you people mean well, right? Those who jumped in my comment section and in my inbox. But daggone it, y'all made the choice to jump into my comment section perpetuating detrimental ideologies regarding compliance. It is not bootlicking to comply. Plain and simple. Learn to fight your battles in a way that'll guarantee your life and the win. Because there are definitely ways of doing so. All right? There are definitely ways in which you can achieve both. They're not mutually exclusive. I promise you. And you know what? If there ever comes a time where the situation becomes dire and you know exactly what I'm talking about, guaranteed I will be right there with you all. Trust me on that. Okay? But for now, there are indeed smarter ways of getting it done without sacrificing our lives in a fit of prideful folly disguised as patriotism. Come on. Or try to come off as one of those F the police types, right? Because that's what I'm seeing right now. Be smart, people. Think smart. And live to fight another day. Live to fight another day. That seems to be something that a lot of you are not thinking about. Live to fight another day. And then and only then you will have the ability to be alive for the fight. And hopefully for the win. Hopefully. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't win the court case and all that, at least you're still alive. And to me, that's a win. Anyways, what do you think? Is compliance bootlicking to you? Or is the statement of complying equals bootlicking, is that a statement that's doing more of a disservice than a benefit? Let me know in the comment section. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Stay tuned for more exclusive content because I always have more real talk to give you. Until next time.